I'm Tim Coventry.
And I'm Steve Althoff.
And welcome to Harborfield's Political Network. On today's topics, first off, on the Republican side, Donald Trump wins big in Washington. And I know what you're going to say, he's just left. Why? He's the last one. Why is anyone caring about this? But let me just say that there's about 100,000 people that voted against him. 49,000 for Ted Cruz and 47,000 for John Kasich. Why is that significant? Well, it shows that some people still aren't ready or are not going to vote for Trump in the general election. Now, moving forward, Trump just got, right now, he has 40 delegates. There are still 44 delegates in that state. We'll have to wait and see where those get allocated. But on June 7th, which is the last day of the primaries, and which is the last day Trump can get points for his nomination, there's California, Montana, New Jersey, New Mexico, and South Dakota. He just needs 28 delegates left to clinch the nomination. And all he needs to win is South Dakota, which is 29 delegates. And then he will get the nomination on the first ballot. But of course, California has 172, Montana has 27, New Jersey has 51, and New Mexico has 24. So I think it will be a very good night for him in the next 2 weeks. So we'll have to wait and see. On the Democratic side, to see who's going to sum that up for you.
Well, there haven't been any Democratic primaries in the last week, but we didn't have a show 2 weeks ago. We didn't have a show last week. So Kentucky, there were two primaries, Oregon and Kentucky. Bernie won Kentucky by 12 points, and Hillary Clinton barely won Kentucky by 0.6%. So Bernie won Oregon, she won Kentucky, and Bernie has requested a recanvassing of votes, so over one delegate, and every delegate counts. Going forward, the next primary, which is not even a state, it's the Virgin Islands, is on June 4th. It's 7 delegates pledged and 5 super or unbound delegates. Sorry. And so I'll just go through what is left and what I think is going to happen there, because I am the Democratic analysis on this show. Puerto Rico has 60 delegates. It's on June 5th. 50 delegates on June 5th, and I think Hillary is going to do well there. South Dakota is on June 7th, and all the primaries from now until the end are on June 7th. So South Dakota has 20 delegates. I think Bernie will do well there. New Mexico has 34 delegates. I'm not going to make a prediction, really, because it's Latinos and Hispanics, so Hillary does well there, but Bernie has been having large rallies there as well, and she hasn't been campaigning in New Mexico a lot. North Dakota has 18 delegates. I think Bernie can do well there. New Jersey has 126. Maybe not as big of a win for Clinton, but she's definitely going to win that state. Depends on the margin that she wins by. Montana has 21 delegates. I think Bernie will do well there. California has 475 delegates, which is a huge number. And I think that it will be a close contest there, because she's only leading by single digits in the current polls. And in the District of Columbia, there are 20 delegates, and I think that I'm not going to make a prediction there. It's basically anyone.
Let me just say this, though. With Cruz and Trump, I know it's different parties, but in Iowa, it had Trump leading at sometimes single and double digits in Iowa, but then Cruz somehow won Iowa. So I think that Bernie might be able to pull off a win in California.
And I just want to quickly say here, if he does, even if he doesn't get the nomination, it will send shockwaves across the Democratic Party, because she could not win a state that had a large African American population, a large Hispanic population, where she has been doing well.
California defines America, literally. That's
a very good statement, very accurate statement. The Democratic Party is now telling Bernie to get out. Some Democratic Party members are saying, no, Bernie should go on. Earlier in the election season, we're saying that the Republican Party might split up. Today, we're saying that the Democratic Party might split up. And just for this reason, that Bernie should drop out. as an analyst and as a Bernie supporter, I do not think he should drop out. He should go on. I think he should go on to the convention.
Well, of course you would say that.
Even if I was not a Bernie supporter, I don't think it's right for someone to say to drop out. But that's a whole other story. What I want to talk about is California. If Bernie, I'm going back a little bit. If Bernie loses California,
Sorry for
then
the interruption. We got some fans
it's-
over there.
it's-
Fans of our shows.
it's a little imperative that he wins California because that shows that Clinton is weak as a candidate. She couldn't win the last contests because Bernie has been winning the last few states.
At a last, though, let's move on, though, to probably my favorite segment going on, Trump v. Clinton. Now, this gets interesting. We haven't filmed in the past 2 weeks, so just real quickly. Donald Trump won Oregon, but Ted Cruz and John Kasich got 5 delegates, and he got 18 delegates. He won with 66.6%. But there's still 61,000 for Ted Cruz and 59,000 for John Kasich. There's still a big sort of anti-Trump, possibly, movement. It's not going to go anywhere. He's already got the nomination. But,
It
Haseeb,
could hurt in the general election.
it could, but let's move on to this. Now, Haseeb, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If it came down to Trump and Hillary, and you had no other choice, no independent campaign, and you had to vote, who would you vote for?
First of all, I just want to say that if in a general election I was told to support someone, it would be an independent candidate or none of them because I don't like Hillary or Trump. If I was
You have to
forced
pick one.
between the two, if it was forced between the two and my life depended on it, I am very sorry to say that I would be supporting Hillary Clinton in the general election because this is going to become a little personal, but my family, my religion, my culture has been criticized by Donald Trump, so I would never vote for Donald Trump.
Now, the other way
Now,
around.
I have a question for
Yeah,
you.
Yeah.
Of course, you're going to be Trump and Hillary. You're going to be for Trump. If it's Hillary versus Bernie, as it is right now, who would you rather vote for, Bernie Sanders or Hillary
It
Clinton?
really, really pains me to say this, but I have to go with Hillary Clinton because I do not think, I think Bernie's unhinged, and I do not trust Bernie. I also
I
do
just want to
not
tell our
trust Hillary.
viewers, he just said Hillary because I said Hillary, and he just wanted to hurt my feelings like I hurt his
No,
feelings.
I did not.
Oh, no,
That's
Timothy.
not what happened. I don't trust Bernie Sanders. Now, moving on,
You
though.
don't trust.
Trump.
He's more
v.
trustworthy
Hillary.
than Donald
That's a
Trump,
lie.
according to public
That's a
polls.
lie.
That's according to public
No, no,
polls.
no, no,
no.
Moving on.
Next show, I promise that I will bring in polls that show that Bernie
I've seen
is
those
more
polls. I
trustworthy
understand.
than Donald
We'll
Trump.
see who does a better job as president. He won't become president, but Trump will.
What if he does?
Well,
What if he
moving on.
does?
No,
Maybe
Bernie
some
will.
miracle takes place. And when he
Well,
does become
then,
president.
God help us.
This is a
please.
very open show today.
Yes,
This is not a
but-
regular format.
The polls, I don't have them in front of me, but you've seen a couple of them. Trump is more trusted on the economy and on terrorism. Yes, there are a couple of other things that he needs to get like higher percentages on, like for instance, schools or
Foreign
healthcare.
policy. But what are you talking about?
Anyway,
Haseeb?
moving on. Yes, he needs to get better at. I guess he needs to explain things more, is what people want. But his numbers are going up against Hillary. One
They
on
are.
one.
I must admit to
A
that.
couple of them he's ahead on. Now, there's a very big, strong possibility that he will be our next president of the United States.
Yes.
Haseeb said it, and I said it. And I don't think that when it comes down to it, I don't know if people are going to want Hillary Clinton. But I think that people might want Trump. They want change. They want to see things done instead of things that haven't
But a
been
lot of
done
Democratic,
with Obama and Bill Clinton.
A lot of Democratic Party members want Obama's
But
policies
at
to
this
continue.
age,
At this
there's more
age.
independence coming in.
And Bernie's winning independence.
It doesn't matter. You saw West Virginia. Almost the majority of Bernie supporters would go to Trump if it came down to Hillary. So that's another big point, too.
I just want to go back a little. The current delegate count, pledged delegate count for Hillary Clinton is 1,750, and for Bernie Sanders, 1,448. If you add super delegates, Hillary Clinton is at 2,287, and Bernie is at 1,940. You need to have a majority of pledged delegates. You need to have 2,382 pledged delegates to be considered the official nominee. It will be contested convention, and the superdelegates will push Hillary
Yep.
to the victory line. Keep
well,
in mind her indictment. I have to say that
On
every
the
show.
Yes. On the Republican side, Trump has 1,209 delegates. He needs 1,237. He needs 28 more delegates. He can definitely get it. And you pushed it. You thought that there would be a contested convention.
You seem so
but
like
so did
pumped
I.
right now.
I thought that there might have been a contested convention.
If-
Trump proved people wrong.
If Ted Cruz and John Kasich were in the race today, could there
I-
be a contested convention?
I don't think so.
I would leave a small
Look
chance.
at the momentum with Indiana and everything else. All right, moving on to our final statements. Hasib, going forth, I think that Trump will obviously become the nominee and Hillary Clinton will become the nominee. And then we'll see a general election, probably one of, if not the worst general election we've ever seen.
Well, not for you.
Ugliness.
Not for you because you are a Trump.
I'm
fanatic.
talking about the attacks that is going to happen. All right? So thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful
I
day.
didn't even
Okay,
get
see,
to-
to finish.
Okay, well, as you see, Tim is trying to monopolize the show.
I am not trying to monopolize the show.
Just like Donald Trump wants to become
No,
dictator.
no.
Anyway.
Okay, Bernie, you're going to split everything out.
So what I want to say is that I still believe that Bernie is the perfect candidate for this election for the U.S. There was a image on the on social media. I don't know if our producer Ryan Rammer can pull it up later into the show, but it is an image of the ship of state. If you search on Google Images, you can see the ship of state.
You're trying to monopolize the show?
It has a ship, and it has the three candidates: Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, and Bernie Sanders. It looks like the Titanic. If you see it, you will be able to recognize it. It has sharks in the back, and Donald Trump screaming, "It's the sharks! Kill them all! Those are our problems." It has Hillary in the middle saying, "I know how to run the ship," and there's Bernie in the front saying, "Look, there's an iceberg." Bernie is trying to point out the problems. Hillary wants to become president, and Donald Trump is trying to point out scapegoats, trying to scapegoating people.
No, he is not.
Anyway.
No.
Coming to the next few weeks, we will have a show next week.
Yes, we
very,
will.
Very similar to this show because the
But
primaries
in 2
are
weeks, for us
a
at
little
least,
later.
the
But
results will come in.
The results
And
will
they
come
will
in.
come in big.
We might have an earlier show,
Huge.
a little earlier than usual because of the primaries scheduled on June 7th.
Possibly
but-
not because mine is unscheduled.
Oh, June 8th, that's right. So,
right,
until
thank you for
until
all-
next time, thank you.
Yeah, thank you all for watching.